7 o'clock hour, second to last games of the day, or second to last block of the day. A stream, someone else will be broadcasting that one of Argentina and Guatemala. That is a really big game for both those teams, probably a little bit more for Argentina. Guatemala, though, I think this is really going to be a good test for them here because, again, you look at the teams they've played, they've been able, they've won, I believe, one series in 2-0 fashion. I think every other series outside of that, everyone's been able to take a map off them. That's the shakiness that I have with this Guatemalan team, is that every other team that they've been is kind of down towards the bottom of the standings. But still, I think if you're Guatemala, you have this momentum, so there's really nothing you could scoff at there. The game will be covering, though, Costa Rica and Panama. A really big game for both these teams, especially if you're looking over at Costa Rica, who want to try to keep their name in that conversation for maybe that third spot. But essentially, they have to win out now if they want to do that.
Yeah, it's going to be a difficult journey to be able to do so, but obviously not impossible to pull that off. So we'll see how things end up going for them as we kind of go through the rest of the season. Remember, only 2 more sets of matches to go for the night. We kind of talked through them already. Obviously, as you can see below with everything set up, Panama is going to take on Costa Rica. You said that H-stream with the Argentina and Guatemala match, which is pretty important. Argentina does go back-to-back on the H-stream, though. They finish off theirs against the undefeated Chile. That's going to be a big battle for them to need to overcome. But of course, we're talking about battles. That Guatemala-Peru game we have alluded to so much. That is our last coverage of the night after this one right here. Everything from here on is so incredibly important right here because Costa Rica, again, in the same situation where this is such a must-win for them.
Yeah, and hey, going in. We are going in. We are
Let's go.
on it. This is fast. Hey, it worked out. Technically, this game starting maybe a little bit late, but because the other one went so long, it works out for us here now. And again, for everyone who's asking in chat, we are covering Panama and Costa Rica. Argentina and Guatemala will be being covered by other streamers. I imagine we're going to either throw you guys over towards the way of Joker's Ransom or Ma Neva. I believe they've been focusing on the A stream today, but coming out of the gate is we're starting to see the Diva a little bit more, and these are the 2 teams I would really expect to see them from, because Panama, no matter what, even though they've been struggling so far in the Conference Cups, they do like to play the metacoms, and they have been good at them in the past. However, you look over at Costa Rica, those are some really, really good players, and they might have not gotten that recognition maybe in like NA face it, but South American face it, yeah, they get that recognition. They are some of the best players in South American face it. Kokoron, though, running for their life here already.
Yeah, absolutely have to right here as waiting for that point to be able to open up to kind of take some aggression once. Well, Kokoron, I think, who has been, despite how things have gone, has been a little bit of a surprise for the team as well. We'll see how things end up going right here as they're going to start pushing on forward. Point open up. You're seeing actually got on early. This is the potential big opening coming through to get things started here for Panama. They're going to start trucking on forward. Rough situation as Benji would kind of have to run for as the rest of the team falls apart in Panama. Off to a good start as they may lose one early, but they come back and take that fight.
Are you at 2% right now as well?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so we're synced. Good. And again, if you're Panama, this is what you want. Like we said, Panama, the fact they haven't won a game yet is kind of a little bit of a surprise. I thought this team had the chance to maybe be a little bit of a big surprise, maybe have themselves in that fight for that third spot going into the final day, but just unfortunate kind of plays coming out for them so far. And this is a good start, especially against a good team in Costa Rica, who, again, I think a lot of people coming into this tournament maybe had them as the 1 or the 2 best team in their power ranking, which I think at this point, Hunter, power rankings on that first day, I think a lot of people were dead wrong about a lot of the teams.
I think so too. I think there's a lot to learn from power rankings and why we just shouldn't do them. But this fight is still continuing on. Right now, Artorias has the remake available in case they do fall out, but at this stage of the game, I don't know how worth it that would be. You're into the 3v5 right here, and Cuba's gonna pull out. That seems very unnecessary.
Kokoron's gonna get back in the mech. I mean, Panama won that fight straight up without their diva. And look at them. I mean, yeah, they invested in the Consumer Rush, but they're going to have everything else. And Artorias, they used the bomb. Actually, no, I think they used the bomb that fight. Yeah. I mean, this is the best start for Panama that you could have asked. Speed boost now, invest in the beat. They want to play aggressive. I love this coming out from them.
Wait, Ajax! Oh, no, he got put in midair. No, Benji.
No, there's no way because there's no way he'd already be up. Oh wait, no, I forget he's that subclass.
Yeah, he got sliced in midair.
Rough. That is rough.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna fix the score.
Did I? What?
You have it as 1-0. But at the moment, Wed now investing early here with the Consumer Rush. Kale, though, going to respond right back with the Override Protocol. And Panama already losing Kokobo. They're just going to fall out here. They're going to give the point back over. Goodbye to Kale. Oh, my goodness. I don't think I've ever seen someone get thrown that far off this map.
Incredibly far off. You can hit it the right way, you can just be sent flying. But yeah, that fight over quickly. 77% though, and with everything that's happened, you gotta be feeling good right now. If you're Panama, Override Protocol gonna be used to help you get through a little bit faster as Pulse Bomb thrown out. Doesn't find a stick though, and you're hoping to find some targets. You're definitely getting some low. You should
Target with the 3! Oh my god!
Oh my goodness! And Panama back in control of the point. Artorias just going to be staggered out here now. Or no, Kokobo just going to take care of them there. But Panama, oh my goodness, Tiger, what was that? Normally we would say they have families, but hell, they have friends. They have co-workers out there. And now Panama, or Costa Rica, with nothing in their back pockets here, has to make a dash for the point.
In the dash, they will indeed make Kokoron put themselves in a really rough situation, though. Needs to try to chuck this bomb out. Isn't able to do so. Needs to live. It's so critical that they will be able to do. Tiger and Takeda both in really rough situations. One sent back to the spawn room. The other clinging on to dear life as Big Boss has the sound barrier. He is going to get used to try to pull them back into this one right here. Wed and Benji just trying to keep themselves safe as the Consumer Rush comes out, but Kudu is just taken out immediately. Now, oh, God.
I mean, if you're Costa Rica, you got the flip there. It was looking rough for a moment, but you got the flip, you're back in control, and you got as the Consumer Rush out there from Kokobo. And look at what Costa Rica's coming back into. Pulse Bomb, their own beat, their own Consumer Rush, their own Override Protocol. The only thing that Panama's going to have for these next two, or maybe this next one fight if they win it, is the Blade. Pulse Bomb out, though. Not going to be able to find one, but you lose. You get the mech on Kokoron, and Tiger will fall. So
yeah,
if you're Costa Rica, you've successfully gone through one fight here.
Yeah, and now you just take this reset as fast as possible. Kokoron will just take the reset. You have time to go for a touch, but you don't have support ultimates to push you through this fight. In fact, there's a potential reality that they just try to blitz into this fight with that sound barrier the moment they try to push through that choke. At least, I believe they should. And they're hanging back, and they are ready for that moment. But Takeda, the only person with an ult, is down early, and now all they can do is rush toward this point, and even then, I don't think they have a touch anymore.
I mean, it's going right back to what we saw from Costa Rica. It will be Kokoron that gets touched. They do have Bomb. Benji holding on to this beat right here, I think, is the best thing for him because you really have it for the Blade. Kokoron, though, Bomb coming out here. You're going to be able to find them. Kubo, though, finds one. There's the beat coming out at the perfect time.
Yeah, and Takeda just going to have no success right here. Going to be cleared away. And unfortunately, the ult economy is just too stacked for this last fight, and they're going to be able to clean things up. But what a back-and-forth map. It's now going to clear things out, take that first round for Costa Rica. My God, I mean, that was more stressful than maybe it needed to be for both teams.
Oh, insanely stressful, especially if you're Costa Rica. I think if you're Panama, yeah, you're maybe a little bit disappointed that you lost that point, especially with how strong you started out there. But Costa Rica, they had to really throw a lot of stuff at that. And I mean, you're just seeing the stats right now. It looks like a really close point right there. Even though Torres, Cal, and Kixo have over 10 elims and no one outside of Tiger has double-digit elims, I mean, that really looked like Panama had control of that map or of that point. They looked comfortable in it. Well, Costa Rica, I think you're starting to see a little bit of that desperation play come in from them right now. They know they cannot afford to necessarily make that mistake. Panama, on the other hand, again, they're not technically eliminated, but they know that, you know, it's going to be hard for them to necessarily get back into that third spot. So they're playing a little bit free, and you're seeing it early on.
Yeah, 100% you are. And we'll see what they're able to kind of do with that mentality. So far, I think it's worked out well for them, but there are things they still need to refine to try to take this one away and keep those spirits and hopes high. But unfortunately, losing out on your Kiri is not the best way to be able to do so, as Kokoron is going to be taken out. And while you do have a couple of picks trying to swing back your way, this is looking like, actually, with Artorias and Benji, the other ones left, actually Costa Rica, who feel like they kind of had that at first, are now losing it.
Yeah, and I mean, you just need to cap this point right now if you're Costa Rica. You still have some members of Panama kind of hanging around. This is the worst case scenario. And they get Artorias out of the mech. I mean, again, Panama, it looks like they're just playing free, and it's working perfectly for them.
Yeah, and talking to one cut, make it two cuts, move it in, looking for the third, as they're going to be able to clear things out, as they will ultimately take this point. Takeda, you monster!
Oh, my goodness. I mean, again, this is the Panama team that I thought me and you would see in this tournament. Again, the winless record is a big surprise to me. We saw them in a couple of show matches, and they looked like a team that, oof, nice kunai there by Wed. But they look like a team that, I mean, they are almost there. They're on the brink of it. This is a good first showing for them. Even if they don't make it to the next round, I think this is still a good first showing for them.
Yeah, and they're clearing things out as much as they possibly can. Unfortunately, it's just Takada coming back, and only 23 on the board, unfortunately. But you're working after ultimates, you're going to be able to match things with that sound barrier, but unfortunately, Wed is quite further ahead for that Kitsune Rush.
Yeah, but Tiger should have Override online a little bit before Kale does. So again, it's just the back and forth that you're going to see here right now. Taurus, they can play a little bit aggressively here, knowing that they have the remaking tool, but you don't really want to use it early. Takeda, though, maybe going a little bit too deep in right there. Going to be able to stay alive, and Speed Boost uses the beat early.
Yeah, and Benji's going to be down. It didn't get the sound barrier on in time. And you see enough separation to where that should be able to get you this point right here, as it's just Gelo hanging around. Kitso and Wed are still kind of hanging around in there. Unfortunately, it's going to be near meaningless as they're just playing for a little bit of stall. Kitso gets rid of one, though, on the way out, and it's going to try to preserve their life right here, and that they will be able to do with a little help from Artorias.
And look over at Costa Rica with ultimates right now. Everything on the board for them. Panama, they're going to have to deal with a lot here, and now they're not going to be able to deal with it with their Kitsune Rush. This just might be a quick point flip here for them, as Panama, I think it would almost be kind of done for them to use any ultimates.
I think it would, too. You'd love to force something out, but at this point, you're not pulling anything at this stage right now if you're Costa Rica. Closing things out as Kitsu going to help run down another one. As, yeah, last touch over on the point. Still, you stall it out to 50. You don't hate it, and if Takada can get out of here, that would be nice.
Takada trying to get out. Going to be able to dash away, and now they have the safety of their teammates. So a huge play by them, but even, I think, a better fight there for Costa Rica. No ultimates invested in that one. I think they getting rid of Kokobo early on just said, okay, we don't really have to invest anything. If they invest, it's fine. But they still have all 5 ultimates here, and I mean, really, this could be 2 fights is all you need. Pulse Bomb out there from Kixo, not going to be able to find it, and now the Override out from Kale.
Yep, trying to find something, and everyone is in a weird spot. Kale almost takes himself out, and in a way, kind of does right there. Weird scenario. Now you're in the 3v3 of ultimates, but Tiger gets booped off the side. And now Kokoron, both bombs actually going to be let loose, and no one should die as a direct result of them. But now you're coming up to 80% marker. It feels like you really need to reset it.
Oh my goodness, Kokobo.
What?
Do it again. No.
Almost did.
Benji now playing dangerously.
I also love to live life dangerously. Name that movie. But they are trucking on forward. Takada able to get one to keep things going, both Konkaron out of the mech. It's going to make things really rough. Tiger going to be cleared out in the backline as well. The overtime is taking over, and the beat's going to be used to try to sustain through. And Konkaron is doing their darndest to try to get back in the mech. In fact, I think it is integral to even have a chance of winning this one. They get it, but not in time, and it's down to Takada to be a hero for their team. They got one already, gonna get rid of a second. Is it going to be enough is the question. The answer, I haven't found it quite yet, but as they're clearing out body after body, it's Takada once again trying to force their way over onto the point, running out of time, running out of resources, and have run out of health as they will just fall short here. It's so back and forth, but it will go the way of Costa Rica.
Costa Rica. I mean, Panama gave them a big run for their money there, but Costa Rica just showing the talent that they have there throughout those first 2 points. And really, you could go back to Control Center and really say Panama should have won that point. They really should have. I think Costa Rica stole that one away from them. Panama, though, I mean, oh my goodness, that play from Tiger right there was huge. But, I mean, Costa Rica, they looked great this map, even with the big sort of resistance that we saw there from Panama. Panama, though, I think, again, like I said, there is this talent on this team. No matter how this tournament ends for them, I think you can look at it as a really good starting point for them, especially as we've talked about a lot throughout the conference cups here. There is still the group of Senju circuit that they're going to be starting up here soon, and I think Panama is only going to get better and better as they continue to play as a team.
Yeah, no, that's the case that it's going to be for, honestly, a lot of these players. I think the mentality that we've heard from a lot of the staff and players is that they don't want this to be the end of how things are. They want to be able to kind of keep having these competitions between them as countries to keep the competition alive down here in South America and Latin America. It's been really exciting to see, and obviously we're excited for that to hopefully continue onward as well. But as we're kind of in this scenario where Panama's really trying hard to bounce back, and let's be fair, even though they have yet to win that series, these have been very back and forth series with a lot of these teams. Like, that has to be noted. This is not a team that has just lost every map convincingly. That is a good example right there of how they have come close, but unfortunately continuously fall just short of the mark.
Yeah, and we talked about it already a lot yesterday, a little bit tonight. You talked a little bit about when Ged was on. I mean, this region and a lot of these teams just and players really do make it chaotic at times. And that's one thing that really tends to be exciting about this region and these players. It's just that you never know necessarily what's going to happen. You could see Panama here. I honestly think it would not surprise me if when you do see Panama, I think they still have to play Chile. When they go play Chile, I believe they play them tomorrow, if I'm remembering correctly. I'm looking. No, I think they already did play them. But I don't know. You could really just see Panama go out there and take a map off of one of those teams in the top 3, and it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, they have the talent there, and I mean, they're a good team right now. Again, the results just aren't fully there for them yet.
Yeah, not quite. And it's obviously a really unfortunate set of circumstances, but the best thing you can do is just go in here, give it your all for the rest of the weekend, do everything you can, and they definitely are. They're not holding a single thing back. And that's going to be potentially terrifying for the teams they still face a little down the line that are very much fighting for their livelihood, that very much take one more loss, and they're basically out of this thing. So we'll have to see what they'll kind of be in once they enter that situation. I don't know how it's going to go, but if Panama keeps fighting like this, it's definitely going to be a scary affair for some of these teams moving forward.
Yeah, and a quick update on the other game going on right now, Argentina and Guatemala. Remember, Guatemala, one of the only undefeated teams left, and a big surprise, I think, to a lot of people that they were undefeated, but hey, a welcome surprise. However, they are on Lijiang as well. First point just ended, and it did go the way of Argentina here.
Yeah, but it's weird. Glacier not really using the traditional style. We've seen them on the Diva a little bit. Let's make that clear. But they've mainly been in a situation where they play a lot of the speed. But I think the reason why is because I think the Lucio got banned. That's my genuine guess.
Interesting. Both teams play Cat. Yeah, I'm going to agree with you.
Yeah, to be fair, Lep has been playing the Cat a lot. Let's be real. I have seen it a lot today of Lep playing the Cat. Absolutely.
There might be a good reason for that.
There might be. Potentially so. Probably got a lot of practice over at the boot camp, I imagine. Had to play it so much due to, having to play it during those opening maps. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and Argentina getting off to a good start here on the second point of Gardens for them. And I think, again, this was the first game I was really looking at here for Guatemala as a big test, especially as Argentina has bounced back today. I don't know if you swapped over to the game yet on your side, but I think this was going to be the first test for Guatemala. If they're going to be able to get through Argentina with a victory, I think we could really start to look at this team as what a lot of people are looking at them as a really good contender. Now, I had a couple questions about this Guatemalan team. Granted, they are 4-0. They have looked really good, and they still are fighting for those top 3 spots. I believe they could actually take one when it's all said and done.
I think they 100% can as well, but I think the only thing is that they're one of those teams that can be on the easier side to read. They know what they're good at, obviously. They know what they like to play. But a scenario is that, especially if you go to a longer series, you're only going to have one opportunity to really fully stop them from doing what they want to do. I think this is an excellent ban right here with Lucio to be able to stop them from doing what they want to do. Because at this point, this is going to be really difficult to go back from, as Oracle doesn't even... Oh my god.
I don't know if cover for me for a moment.
Yeah, I got you, buddy. Don't worry. But either way, yeah, we're kind of just looking at this game right now. It looks like it's going to be in the territory of cleaning things up for Argentina, who should be able to take this first map away from Guatemala, who, to be fair, Guatemala has lost a couple of maps in the past. But it's mainly been when teams have gone after those targeted bans to make that rush as difficult as possible to run. So yeah, Argentina should have this map pretty locked in right now. These mines aren't going to do anything. I realize y'all can't really see it right now, but let me tell you, it's an important thing right now to be able to kind of take a note what's going on, as Argentina really do need this today. They do need this today. They've had a really good streak. They need to keep a streak going, though. But obviously, we'll kind of have to see a little bit later as to what's going on. I'm keeping my eyes on another neck of the woods as well. Obviously, we have Collegiate going on this weekend, which has been an absolute joy to be able to see Northwood and Winthrop going at it right now. That's a really fun one. A lot of really good players we've seen play in OWCS and Masters Division as well, for that matter. It's been really nice to see. But obviously, we'll kind of see a little further down the line as to, what will happen more with Collegiate right here. Because I know they're back at it tomorrow as well as the World Cup. So we'll obviously have to see where things will go from there. But obviously, lots of excitement still on display for the entire weekend between everything going on. And Dex, all the amazing co-streamers as well that have been helping put a lot of eyes on these amazing teams.
Yeah, and again, I think it's a really good thing, especially we talked about a little bit yesterday with Overwatch Esports deciding to say, okay, we're just going to open things up to everyone. And I think that was the right move to do, or everyone that signed up to do. I think that was the right thing to do, because you want to get as many eyes on this as you possibly can, especially since the World Cup is going to be one of the biggest events that OW or Overwatch Esports puts on this entire year. So getting those eyes on these teams early is going to be very, very important.
Yeah, it's going to be very important moving forward. We'll have to see how kind of things kind of line up as we keep continuing forward with the rest of the year and how things are going to kind of go. Again, there's a lot of stuff that I think is still really, not quite revealed or not quite talked about much yet. We're just going to have to wait and see. And we're anticipating something really nice moving forward. But all we can really do is wait to see. And in the meantime, do what we can, because something we could talk about while we're still waiting for both of these maps to kind of get going again is what starts up this week. We got FaZe League Season 8 starting up, coming up this week right here. And okay, World Cup is not what we talk about FaZe League. We'll talk more about that later as we get into things for a very good reason, as we see a big old swappy swap come through.
Yeah, coming up from Panama, opening and going to go over to the tank. Kokoron going to go over to the flex DPS role here. And I think we've seen this from them in the past where they've done this. Kokoron, I believe, is listed as a flex player just all around. So I believe you could see him go from tank to DPS to support. But Speed Boost and Kokoba, I think, have been the best supports for Panama throughout what we've seen them. For opening, though, this is definitely just because this is a heavy dive map. And it's not necessarily, and it's for good reason. But Wrecking Ball right now, I think it takes a lot more to make Wrecking Ball work because of the slight bugs that are happening right now with the hero. But if you can still get it to work, it's going to be really, really well for you. However, Artorias on this Winston is just scary, especially Kale when they're able to hit shot after shot on this Ashe, which I imagine the Emre Emre's not banned out here. Kale just wants to play the Ashe on this point.
I don't blame Ashe. Still, well, it hasn't really been played honestly at all this weekend. You can't say Ashe doesn't have utility. Still has really good utility between having the dynamite, the shotgun. There is a lot you can really, or the coach gun, I should say. There's a lot to really use in a scenario like this. But still, this is going to be a lot more of a poke game. And to be fair, this falls in the hands of Kitso a lot, who, to be fair, has been an extremely impressive member over on that Tracer.
Kale going to be able to find Tiger out there right now. And look at what this does to this Costa Rican team. They're just going to play very aggressively, knowing they got rid of, I think, essentially the scariest player on the other side at the moment.
Oh, no, 100% they have. Now, pushing them back even further right here. Already a minute down, but already making some really good progress on the point as Kokoron has gone down, and now this creates a really troubling issue as Kitso's going to be able to kind of keep trucking on forward. Opening is kind of just hanging around and unfortunately isn't doing enough, I think, to stall out this point. Eventually is going to be able to do so, but it's literally just being tracked down one beat at a time, literally playing a ring around the rosy, and eventually Opening is going to get caught out.
You know, I could say something there about Costa Rica, considering they just kind of left the cart on its own for about 25 seconds without moving it. It wasn't being stalled out by anyone. They just weren't on it. They're going to actually allow potentially Panama to come back in here very quickly and get a stall.
Yeah, and they will get another touch coming through, and Opening is going to get here in time. Unfortunately, Kokoron's going to struggle to help out because they're sent back to the spawn room, and Opening is very much just going to be playing the stall game at best right here, as they'll be knocked around. Eventually will fall over as, everyone else is just going to be cleared out, and poor Kubu is just going to be cleaned out as Tiger is still kind of up there, needs to try to get out of the danger zone. It looks like I would say they should be able to, and they will.
Kokoron is being taken out there, but you look over now at Costa Rica, they're coming up to almost all their ultimates. Same thing cannot be said, though, for Panama. You're going to have your own pulse bomb and your support ultimates here, as I think Opening right now, you really need to see this ball start to get going here, especially on Hangar. We talked about it a little bit last time we saw this map, I believe, on a look-in to a series. This is a hard point to get through if you're the attacking team, but if you're able to find people out early like Kale did right there, it's going to be very, very easy.
That it will be in Kale with the second one now. You see everybody push back. Now this is that Costa Rica squad that is trucking on forward that we expected to see a lot more throughout the weekend, as they're going to probably wet off the high ground as Speedwos will eventually go down for the cause.
And now you see already 2 members back from Costa Rica on this point, and still 4 ultimates to their name. Almost all 5 gonna be ready here for Panama. This could be a pretty heavy ult fight here, but if you get rid of opening before they get the mines, oh, nice ante.
Oh, that is, yeah. But Tiger is still trying to truck on forward. Unfortunately, he's in such a weird area. It does clip in and get wed. The question is it gonna be enough to turn this fight around? There's a Bob sitting on the backside of the wall right there. As that card's gonna start pushing on forward. Opening's gonna have to go and let those mines loose on the point, more than likely. Will do so, and it forces everybody to back out a little bit. But they're gonna be cleared out pretty quickly as that shield ends up getting hit with a pulse bomb. Will not finish anybody off as Artorias slept. Could create some big room, but you see how people are having to hang out on this back line as eventually Kitso is going to nail that one right there. Gets rid of another one, and again, we talked so much about Kitso. They get 3 to finish that fight. 4.5 minutes, and Costa Rica looking hot right now.
I mean, Costa Rica just taking all the momentum they got from that last map victory here. Even though Panama looked really good, it's just Panama struggling right now. And remember, this is Panama brought us to this map for a reason. It had to be opening, playing this dive tank, but the ball is just not working out for them so far. And I really think if you're not able to do anything with the ball this fight, you might have to really heavily consider making a swap here now, as Costa Rica, I mean, they could really complete this map with over 2.5 minutes if they just keep rolling.
Yeah, no, they definitely can. They're in such a good condition right now. You're about to have the nano up online as well. You can send this aggressively on Artorias. You hit the anti over to opening, who is lucky to still be alive. Eventually going to get some care right now. But Tiger down early. This is becoming worst case scenario for you right now. The nano now ready to go for wed. Cubu, same condition right around the corner, but still, you needed to find its value as, again, nobody from Costa Rica is on the cart. They're going to move forward, clear some bodies out as Nano's going to be given forward, and now it is Kitso on the run trying to find some bodies, but even so, it's just going to zone out Conqueron, who just really can't get anywhere close.
Recall coming out there from Coconut to keep themselves alive, and I mean, they do have that small health pack, but you look at the card, it's now within 3 meters of it, and Ultimate's still online here for Costa Rica.
Oh, and Kitso nails it with the pulse bomb, and from there, it's a stall game. Cubu, Tiger trying to peek to help opening, however, it's not going to happen. 3:04 on the clock. Costa Rica putting themselves in brilliant position here to try to end this day on a win, a much-needed one at that.
Yeah, a very much needed one here, and I don't know what happened with Panama. I don't know if the swap from Coconut going over to tank and opening coming in was that, but Artorias never died, Kixo never died. When your Winston and Tracer player don't die, especially with how aggressively they were playing, it means you're doing something right. Kale, though, most damage in the lobby at 6,000. I mean, you look over at the other DPS line. I mean, Tiger's the closest one to them, and Coconut. I mean, I think Kale might have actually just barely not out DPSing the entirety of Panama's DPS line there. But still, if you're Panama, at this point, me and you talk about a lot when this situation comes up, kind of forget about the time bank that Costa Rica has. You just need to complete the map. Give yourself a shot at an overtime round. That's exactly what you need here.
Yeah, you have to go down that route. You have to do everything you can just to make it towards the end. Don't worry about how much time you do it with, if any time at all. You just simply need to get there and make it happen. Now, what strategy are you going to utilize to do so? Well, we see that, hey, Costa Rica more than happy to just run what they just did. They feel confident in it for good reason. But nothing's changing a whole lot here for Panama, which could be potentially concerning. But we see Cubo, he's potentially just going to get Tiger in a position with the cat.
And I don't hate this. I mean, either they're going to get them on this high ground position, or I could just see him kind of taxing them around. But no, just going to be straight to the high ground instead. And the cat will stick here for a moment. But I wonder if Kubo is going to get off this at some point. Just go over maybe to the Ana, which I think definitely provides a little bit more pressure, as you see. A nice nade coming out there from Wed.
Yeah, it's great to push them back and give yourself a lot of this amazing space to work with as best you can. But they're going to go in with the aggression. Recall comes through from Kitso, is going to get out of dodge. Tiger, still plenty of care. And living here is amazing. Unfortunately, opening is not going to be able to do that. Opening down early. And even though you're taking the trades, I don't think it's going to matter in the grand scheme of things right here. Speed Boost does manage to back out right here as the cat running for the dear life, as they'll at least be able to reset. But Wedge should be back in time.
Yeah, but you look at this, Hunter, a minute gone, and I mean, everyone's kind of struggling with ults, but that was a one long team fight that just did not go the way there for Panama. You are really going to have to start heavily considering making some swaps here, but opening, I think this is the player that you really need to see get going here for Panama. This ball has to start working for them.
Without a shadow of a doubt, it has to. And now you're rolling in, you're throwing on all this damage over onto Artorias. Unfortunately, it's not really working out all that well. Because Artorias, I mean, has such well-managed health coming through from Wed and Benji a lot of the time right here. Tiger nearly managed to find the head of Kel. Unfortunately, not able to do so right here. But this time, Kitso perhaps got a little more than they wanted to. Will be cleared out, and this is the first opening they've had so far in this round.
Also the first death for Kixo this entire map. And now you finally see Panama get going here. The sleep out there from Wed. This could be something where opening could punish them, but you see the peel right back for them, but Kokoron going to be able to trade him out. However, speed boost going to be traded right back.
Oh, yeah, 100%. They're trying to clear it out. That they eventually will be able to do. Just Cubu and opening hanging about will eventually be cleared out here. So opening is in a bit of a weird position and will get the mega health pack. Unfortunately, I don't think they're getting out of here alive.
They're not, and now, I mean, halfway through this time bank right now, the card's only as far as you can see it right now, which is not necessarily a good spot. You've seen teams just be able to kind of bunker down there and play. However, you're not going to see that from Costa Rica, that really running comp, but you look at what they do have coming up here, 4 ultimates. Panama, though, coming up to 5, is really Speed Boost the one that's kind of lagging behind here. Opening, though, going to go in. Kokoro will find Wed. That's a good opening, and Benji out as well.
Massive. It's going to get this going. Again, a big chance on the way here, but you need to keep clearing out bodies. If you can get rid of Artorias, it would be massive. Cal's also in a really rough position, sitting at 1 health. I don't know even know where they are right now, but they're still alive, and they're hanging about, and they have a Bob ready to go.
Opening went all the way back to essentially the middle part of second point push there to get that large health pack. And you're coming up to a decent amount of ultimates. Kales, though, Bob is going to be something that's used as a really good stalling tool here. That should allow Costa Rica to get back and get set up a nice mines. However, you just see Bob clearing them out.
Yeah, just the Bob just had a little target practice. Why not? Now you're a minute left right here. Override protocol. Sleep doesn't quite land. This is a potential opening. Wed is down, and you're trying to stay alive as much as you possibly can. But Cal eventually going to fall down as well. Takes one down with him. I don't know if it's going to be enough. Artorias is indeed going to pull the trigger. What's trying to end this thing right here and right now if possible. Unfortunately, Artorias is running out of care. Wed and Benji are trying to run back. Kitso was able to take over momentarily. I just don't think it's going to be enough.
It is not, and now Panama keeps this round alive. Again, like we said, Hunter, they should not care about that time bank that Costa Rica got that first round. They just need to complete the map, and now they finally got 1 or 2 fights to go their way. They need to now keep this momentum going. We saw how this team played with momentum last map, and they looked really good doing. And you have some ultimates going up here. Kokoron's Pulse Bomb could really do a lot of wonders for you. Kixer, though, has the same Pulse Bomb ready to go here.
That they do. We'll see if you're able to find any value off of it. In this engagement, again, 2:25 left on the clock right here. Tiger gets rid of Cal, opens up big time, but again, you lose out on the cat so early, puts you in a bit of a rough situation. Have to rely on the solo heals of a Lucio as the pulse bomb thrown into the ether. Will catch on to Wed, actually, and now Benji's being bullied into the corner. But the problem is, you've taken so many bad trades out of the situation to where you're not getting any help on the cart. It hasn't gone anywhere.
No, opening coming right back in. They do have mines, and they're going to be able to, with some help there from Kubo, take care of Artorias. This should be the moment where Panama gets going here again. But honestly, yeah, that's what you needed. You needed Kixo to die right there, because that allows you to breathe a little bit freer now and get everyone back in for what could be the final fight of the second point.
That I think it very well could potentially be. You have good almost able to do it. Again, the mines, if you can really let them hang above, it puts you in really good territory. Tiger as well. If Tiger gets a little bit of extra help right here, going up, you know, with this override protocol, it can be massive, but the mines are thrown out very much, again, in a very congested area. Doesn't end up getting a whole lot. It forces an awkward situation, I'll tell you that. But at the very least, opening is just found out. And with that, I don't think you pull this fight out. Everyone needs to just take the opportunity to get out of here.
Whew.
Wow.
Go in, Kixo. Find 2 more.
Oh,
but
bye.
No, you're gonna see Tiger get yoinked away right there. But you look at the ultimates coming up here for both these teams. Override Protocol and Beat are gonna be very, very key here for Panama. But you look over at Costa Rica, you have Bob, you have Pulse Bomb, you have everything coming up essentially. Catnap though for Kubo. Who's the target? What are you gonna do? Actually, goodbye, Cat. You're not gonna see this fight.
Wait, back cap? Oh, they almost back cap, by the way. Nearly. Oh, almost got away with it, but now I guarantee you they're not going to keep bodies off that cart from here on out, as they're going to force everybody back. Final fight territory, realistically, all things considered.
Yeah, 30 seconds left to go here now, but still, outside of that pulse bomb from Kixo, you still have almost all your ultimates coming up here for Costa Rica. You're in a good spot, and now you don't have to deal with the override protocol. And honestly, if you're Tiger, you might be considering making a swap to a hero that's going to get back here faster, because Kubo might be the only person who can drag him back into this one. And, I mean, they might just be able to now.
At this point, you keep everybody back, you let open and get that first, that first touch. And then you can follow with Speed Boost, having the Speed Boost to, obviously, bring them in there and hit the sound barrier. That's what you should do this fight right here. As Kyger's going to come back into the fight, immediately gets burnt down, though. And its worst case scenario, as Cubo is going to have the catnap, but I don't think it's going to matter one little bit. Artorias with a little bit of nano is going to clear out some bodies. A must-win for Costa Rica and for Panama. The search for success continues onward.
Yeah, again, at Panama, they had their moments. They looked like, oh my God.
I saw that. Yeah.
Did you see the hamster?
Yeah.
Oh man, what a thing that just catches off guard there. But like I was saying, Panama, they look like they had their moments this series, and that's been something I think a lot of people have been able to say about this team throughout all their series. They have this moments where they start to look like the better team, but then Costa Rica, this is what we really expected from them, especially with this roster they have, able to really take control of maps, take control of series, and just never really look back for them. I mean, you can go back to that first point of Lijiang Tower. Costa Rica stole that one, and after that, they never really gave up the series back to Panama. Yeah, Panama still had their moments on Lijiang, and then back over on Watch Point. The Wrecking Ball, though, I think took a little bit too long for them to get going there. But still, I think Kokoron going from DPS or tank to DPS, well, again, it took them a little bit to get going. They started to be able to really match Kitso there. However, Artorias, I think, was a much bigger problem for Panama, and just really allowed Costa Rica to play a little bit more freely there.